This is the IELTS listening test, created and published by IELTSonlinetests.com 2025. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end of the test, you will be given 1 minute to check your answer. Now turn to part 1.
Part 1.
You will hear a conversation between James and Riverside Club. James wants to join the gym, is interested in Riverside Club, and plans to visit on Wednesday to tour and discuss membership options. First, you'll have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 10.
Hello?
Hello, is that the Riverside Club?
Yes, that's right.
I've seen your advert about joining the club, and I'd like to find out a bit more before I join.
Yes, of course. I'll just take a few details first of all. Can I take your name?
It's Margaret.
Margaret. And your surname?
It's O'Donnell.
Is that spelt with a double N?
No, just one. It's a double L at the end. It is O'Donnell.
Okay, and can I take a contact number?
Yes, my mobile is 078 6625 4932.
Great, thanks. And do you have an email address?
Yes, it's margaret.o'donnell@mail.com.
Great, thanks very much. Now, have you been a member of a gym before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so let me tell you a bit about what we offer. So, obviously, you can use the gym, but we also have a lot of classes you can join. We have spinning, yoga, Pilates, and a lot more.
That sounds great.
And we also have a swimming pool and a sauna and steam room.
Oh, I love swimming.
We have a full range of equipment, including free weights, exercise bikes, rowing machines, and treadmills.
Do you have personal trainers?
Yes, we do. You can book a session with a personal trainer when you join, and they will show you how to use all the equipment.
That sounds very good.
And we also offer a fitness test when you join, which is free.
Oh, what does that involve?
Well, it's a series of exercises to measure your fitness level. It takes about an hour.
Okay, and what about the cost?
Well, there are a few options. The monthly membership is £50, and you can cancel it at any time.
Okay.
Or you can pay annually, and that's £500.
Okay, so that's £100 cheaper than paying monthly.
Yes, that's right.
And what are the opening times?
We're open from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at weekends.
Okay, and where are you located?
We're on Riverside Road. Do you know it?
Yes, I think so.
We're on the corner of Riverside Road and Green Street. We're opposite the cinema.
Okay, I know it. It's quite near my house.
So, would you like to come and have a look around the gym?
Yes, I'd love to.
Okay, can you come on Wednesday? We have a tour at 5 p.m.
I'm afraid I can't make that time. I don't finish work until 5:30. Is there a later tour?
Yes, we have another tour at 6 p.m.
Okay, I can come then. What do I need to bring?
You just need to bring some ID, like your driving license or passport.
Okay, and what about gym clothes?
No, you won't need them for the tour, but if you decide to join, you can start using the gym straight away, so you might like to bring some clothes then.
Okay, great. Thanks very much. I'll see you on Wednesday.
Okay, see you then. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That is the end of part 1. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers to part 1. Now turn to part 2.
Part 2. You will hear the speaker outlines the structure of the upcoming 2-day conference, detailing the schedule, session options, and logistics, including registration and meal arrangements. First, you'll have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 11th annual conference here at the Castle Hotel in Keswick. I just want to take a few minutes to go over the general structure of the conference and to remind you about some of the facilities here at the hotel before the first session begins at 9:30. The programme for the conference is a very full one, but we have tried to build in a little more time for discussion and questions at the end of each session, as we felt that this was something that was missing from last year's conference. We have 3 sessions scheduled for today and 2 for tomorrow. The first session today is the one that will be most relevant to many of you, and we hope that as many of you as possible will be able to stay for the full session. Coffee and tea will be available in the small lounge area, which is just across the corridor from this room, at 11 o'clock, and we will finish for lunch at 12:30. Lunch will be served in the dining room, which is at the other end of this corridor. Please make sure that you have your conference badge with you, as you will need it to get into the dining room. After lunch, the first session will begin at 2 o'clock and will be held in the garden room, which is at the back of the hotel. If the weather is fine, that room has lovely views over the hills, and we will have tea and coffee on the terrace at 3:30. This afternoon session will finish at 4:15, and there will then be a meeting of the management committee in the main lounge area, which is on the first floor. If you are on the management committee, please try to be there promptly, as we have a number of important issues to discuss. Dinner will be served in the dining room at 7:30, and there will be an informal get-together in the garden room after dinner, which we hope as many of you as possible will attend. Now, tomorrow, the first session will begin at 9:30 and will be in the main lounge area. Coffee and tea will be available again at 11 o'clock, and the second session will begin at 11:30. We will finish for lunch at 12:45, and after lunch there will be a final session in the main lounge area, beginning at 2 o'clock and finishing at 3:30. After the final session, We will go back to the garden room for the closing address, which will be given by Dr. Burton.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you'll have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
Now, on to some other issues. First of all, the swimming pool. Unfortunately, there was a problem with the water heating system last week, and the maintenance people have been working on it over the weekend. They think that it is now working properly, and that the water will be warm enough to swim in by this afternoon. We will put a notice on the door to the pool, which is on the first floor, if it is not available for use at any time during the conference. The gym is on the same floor and is open from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. However, if you want to use the sauna, you will need to book in advance at the main reception desk, as it is quite small and can only take 4 people at a time. There is no charge for using the sauna, but you will need to leave a deposit of £10 at reception, and you will get this back when you return your key to them. Now, if you have any questions about the conference, I will be here for the next 15 minutes and will be very happy to help. I hope you enjoy the conference and that you will have time to explore the beautiful Lake District while you are here.
That is the end of part 2. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers to part 2.
Now turn to part 3.
Part 3. You will hear 2 students, Tim and Laura, discussing their poster presentation on climate change in East Africa. First, you'll have some time to look at questions 21 to 23. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 23.
So Laura, have you thought more about the focus of our presentation? I was considering covering the effects of climate change on each country separately.
That's an interesting idea, but I think it might be too detailed. We should probably focus on what people can actually do to reduce climate change instead.
You're right, that's a much clearer focus. There's a lot of information on that topic, and it's something that affects all the countries in the region.
Exactly. It's also more relevant to our audience. We can briefly mention future climate data, but we shouldn't make it our main point.
Agreed. Now, I'm a bit worried that we're trying to cover too much. There's so much information and we might run out of time.
I was thinking the same thing. I feel like we need to cut down on some content, otherwise it'll be overwhelming for the audience.
Good point. We don't want them to get lost in the details.
There's one more thing. I think we need to be careful when we talk about rainfall patterns. Some sources say there could be more rain in some areas, while others predict severe droughts. We should make sure we present the information in a balanced way.
Absolutely, and we should also avoid assuming that data from one country applies to all of East Africa. Climate patterns vary a lot across the region.
Right. Let's be precise and avoid generalizing too much.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you'll have some time to look at questions 24 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 24 to 30.
So for the poster, what should we include?
Well, we definitely need to provide a clear outline of our research at the top, so people can follow our main points easily.
Yes, and we should avoid using a fancy script font. It needs to be easy to read from a distance.
Exactly. We also need to reduce the amount of detailed research we include. We can't fit everything on the poster.
Agreed. Let's break the information into sections. Maybe we can use headings to clearly separate each part.
Good idea. We should also include some diagrams and photographs to make the poster more visually engaging.
Yes, visuals will help communicate the key points more effectively, and we need to make sure our summaries are clear and concise.
Definitely. And we should add some colours to make the poster stand out.
Sounds good. Let's get started on the final version.
That is the end of part 3. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers to part 3. Now turn to part 4. Part 4. You will hear a lecture about UK farmers' use of technology for crop monitoring. First, you'll have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I'll be discussing the role of technology in modern farming, particularly in the UK, where technological advancements are helping farmers address various challenges. To begin with, one of the biggest challenges UK farmers face is financial instability. Over the past decade, the price of key crops such as wheat has fallen dramatically. On the international market, for instance, the price has dropped by as much as 50%, making it difficult for farmers to maintain profitability. While some have been able to adapt by diversifying their crops or seeking alternative revenue streams, many have relied on government subsidies to stay in business. These financial supports help offset losses and sustain the agricultural sector. Another major issue for farmers is the need to reduce their dependence on chemical inputs such as fertilizer and pesticides. Excessive use of these substances not only affects soil quality, but also poses risks to the environment and human health. Technology is increasingly being used to address this concern, offering solutions that optimize resource use and minimize waste. Now let's look at some of the specific technologies being used on farms today. One such innovation is the use of sensors. These small but powerful devices are placed in the soil to monitor conditions in real time. They provide crucial data on moisture levels and temperature, which is then sent to a computer system. This allows farmers to make informed decisions regarding irrigation and fertilizer application, ensuring resources are used efficiently and effectively. Another important tool is drones. These small aircraft, which operate without a pilot, are used to survey fields from above. Equipped with cameras and other sensors, drones help identify specific areas that require attention, such as sections affected by disease or inadequate irrigation. This targeted approach reduces waste and increases overall efficiency. A third technology that has transformed modern farming is GPS. This system provides accurate location information, helping farmers apply fertilizers and pesticides more precisely. Instead of treating entire fields uniformly, GPS enables site-specific management, reducing costs and minimizing environmental impact. Furthermore, advancements in robot technology are also making an impact. Robots are now being used for a variety of tasks, such as harvesting fruit, planting crops, and even removing weeds. Unlike human workers, these machines can operate continuously without the need for breaks, making them an attractive option for farms facing labor shortages. Despite the clear advantages, adopting these technologies does come with challenges. One of the main barriers is cost. Some farmers are hesitant to invest in expensive new technologies, particularly when their profit margins are already tight. Additionally, implementing these systems requires training. Farmers need to develop new skills and expertise to operate and maintain the equipment effectively. In conclusion, the use of technology in agriculture is becoming increasingly essential. It allows farmers to maximize productivity while minimizing resource waste. As a result, technology plays a crucial role in increasing the production of food, ensuring that farms remain sustainable and profitable in the long term. Looking ahead, researchers are continuously developing new agricultural technologies to further improve efficiency and sustainability. Innovations such as precision farming, artificial intelligence, and automated machinery could soon become standard on farms worldwide. However, successful implementation will require ongoing investment, education, and adaptation by farmers.
That is the end of part 4. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers to part 4. That is the end of the listening test. You now have 2 minutes to check your answers.